Yay, we're starting. Okay, let's see if it's up. Okay, says we're live. Hello, everybody. So I'm super excited for today's small group. So today we're going to be talking about daring to dream. And I'm really excited about that because I'm like very, very passionate about people just daring to dream and dreaming big. So if you're here for the first time, I just want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you came, that you're joining us for our small group tonight. So like I said last week, everybody is welcome here. It doesn't matter what age, what religion, what you believe in, what you look like. It doesn't matter. We're just, my vision for this small group is just for a bunch of women to be able to come together and have a community together and do life together. So just wanted to say that. And so the verse that I'm kind of basing all of this topic off of is Ephesians 3:20, and it says, God can do anything you know, far more than you could ever imagine or guess or request in your wildest dreams. And so I just love that. That just really like makes my soul come alive per se. I just absolutely love that verse, and it's been like my life verse for quite a while now. So let's see. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is kind of my experience with dreaming and why I think it's so important. Because I feel like sometimes today, I was talking about this with someone else just recently, is that we kind of have lost our ability and our thoughts to dream. And so I just want to bring that back alive for you guys and just kind of talk about that. So my experience with it, and the reason that I'm even doing my blog and my YouTube channel in the first place, was because about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer now, someone asked me, what are you passionate about? And it kind of caught me off guard, and I just felt almost a little bit silly because I was just like, I don't know. And I didn't like the feeling of not having an answer to that, because some people would be able to say like, oh, I'm an artist and I love to draw and I love to paint or something like that. And I just like had nothing. And I remember I just was saying, well, I like to hang out with my friends and sometimes I'll go shopping, or I like to hang out with my family. But I just felt like it was like nothing, amazing or something like to write home about. And anyway, so that kind of brought me to this place of just asking God, okay, what are my passions? Like, what are my dreams? What am I passionate about? What did you create me to do? And I was just kind of really confused about that. And so I just thought I would pray about it and ask God to kind of reveal those things to me. And of course he did. And within a few weeks, I think I mentioned this a little bit last week, but to go a little bit deeper, within a few weeks, I started just like going places, or I would see things, and all of a sudden it was like something in my spirit was just like coming alive, and I just was like, oh, I love that, and I love this, and I love that. And I remember I walked through the mall one time with Kyle, and this girl gave me like the sweetest compliment on my makeup, saying, oh, you should do makeup. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I love makeup, like, wow, thank you. And then I went into Sephora, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just in heaven. And a few other things happened. And so anyway, that kind of brought me to this place of just like, you know what, I'm passionate about, I've always done hair and I've always loved makeup and I love fashion, but it also was so much more than that. And I love to connect with women and encourage women and just like one-on-one, let's get a coffee and let's hang out. That's just how I am. Sorry, there's a fly in my face. And so anyways, the thing that started my blog, other than Kyle encouraging me, of course, because he knew that I wanted to do it, was the person saying, what are you passionate about? And that just really struck something in me. And so that's something that I would want to ask you guys is, what are you passionate about? And if you're not able to answer that like I wasn't, that's totally okay, because that means you're in a really exciting place. And if you just pray about it and ask God for direction in that, he will totally show you. I know that he will, and it'll be so good. So that's kind of my experience of what I even started dreaming about, or what brought this about in the first place. And so after I had prayed, I just felt like, little by little, God was just placing strategy in me and just showing me, I want you to do this and I want you to do this. And this is what this is going to be. And I just was like, oh my gosh, God is so good. And it brings you back to that verse of God can do anything more than you could ever request or dream of in your wildest dreams. And so I just love that. And even still, like the dream that I have for this is still constantly evolving, and constantly God showing me more and more of what it's all going to entail and how he wants me to impact people and that kind of a thing. And so I just want to challenge you guys that if there's nothing that you're passionate about, nothing that you're like currently dreaming about, pray about it and ask God what he created you to do. And maybe he doesn't give you a full 5-year plan. Maybe he gives you, hey, I want you to do this today. And every day you ask him what he wants you to do. And it just little by little gets you to the place where you're supposed to be. And, or not necessarily where you're supposed to be, but just stepping in the right direction of God's call for your life. And another thing that I would tell you about dreaming is to question your intentions, because to give you an example, if I, for instance, just wanted to be a blogger and be a fashion blogger and do hair and do makeup, but my intentions were just to get money and to make it big and to be famous, whatever, I don't think that I would ever accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish, because those intentions are just purely revolving around myself. And the thing that I'm learning recently is it's so much more about God and so much less about me. And I just want him to use me in whatever way he wants to. And, he allowed me to be good at hair. And so this is a way that I can connect with people, And so I just want to encourage you that just be passionate about something. And if you don't know what that is, then just ask God and he will totally show you. So yeah, question your intentions with it. That's what I was trying to say, was just question your intentions. And if your intentions are pure and your intentions are, to help people or just to do something that adds value to the world, then I think God will totally honor that, and he'll expand that even more than you could ever guess or imagine or dream of. So I want to tell you guys 4 practical ways that I personally allow myself to dream. And this might look different for every single person, but I just wanted to kind of share with you guys and get a little bit more personal about how I dream and how Kyle and I go about dreaming, and not just dreaming, but putting that into action. So the first thing that I feel like is really important is to make time to dream, because oftentimes we're so used to going through our daily life, which obviously we have responsibilities and things that we have to do. Maybe you're in school, or maybe you're a mom, maybe you have a family you have to take care of. But the first thing that I would recommend would be for you to make time to dream, because if you're not making time and you're not questioning and you're not asking God what he's wanting you to do, then how are you ever going to know that? And how are you ever going to go after something if you're not making time to do it? So make time to do it. And the second thing, I personally, so I go to this neighborhood almost, I wouldn't say every day. I used to go every single day while I would drive Lily to sleep. And now I don't drive her to sleep for a nap, but that was like my time. And so I still love, so I drive through this neighborhood. It's a really beautiful neighborhood. It's kind of out on the like country roads. And it just is like super, I don't know what it is, but it's super peaceful. And so that's kind of like my place, like my mountaintop that I go to dream on. And so maybe you actually do go up on a mountaintop, or maybe you go to a coffee shop, or maybe you just go for a walk or go for a drive somewhere that you really love or something. Just find a place that inspires you and just allows your brain to kind of shut off and just shut off the world and just think about the things that you are dreaming about and the things that God's asking you to do and calling you to do. So that's my second thing, is find a place. Or kind of my sub thing. So another thing that I really love to do, and I do this oftentimes when I'm feeling hopeless, or when I'm feeling like, oh man, God, is this ever going to happen? Or I love to do this. So the thing that I do is I write lists. And so I have like all these different lists of things that trips that I'll take when we've made it financially, or trips that I'll gift to somebody because we made it financially and we can bless other people, or things that I'll be able to give away. And I just start listing all of these things off. Like, I want to do this. I want to give this to this person. I want to buy this for this person. I want to make a difference in this area. And so I have all of these lists of things that I want to eventually accomplish. And for me, that just really inspires me and like gets my heart going again, especially when I feel like just maybe down or hopeless in an area. So that's something that if you want to try out, I would totally recommend it. I love doing it with Kyle. If you're married, I think it's a great thing to do with your spouse is just writing lists out. So there was a night specifically where we were just kind of feeling down and I was feeling a little bit hopeless about something. And I said, you know what, let's make a list because I love lists. And we're like, okay, so we sat in bed, we made our list, and it was a list of surprise trips that we'll take people on one day. And it was really fun, and it gets your mind off of the circumstance that you're in, and it gets your mind just into a place where you can dream again and where you can find hope and make those differences, and just whatever sets your soul on fire is kind of what comes out on paper, and it's actually really, really cool. So that's another thing, or another list, for example, that you could do is if you feel like God's promising you something. That's a great list in my head that I always make as I read, okay, this is what I feel like God is saying. And so then I have a list and I can say, oh, well, he's done that. I can check that one off. I can check this off. I'm still waiting on that one, that kind of a thing. And that just really helps me just like keep a proper mindset, not get too stuck in the today or the circumstance that I'm in. So the third thing that I want to say is once you are in a place where you feel like you have found what you're supposed to do and you found that purpose and you found what you're passionate about, and you know what, it doesn't have to be something so crazy and so huge. It can totally be just, maybe you have a dream to open up a daycare and you feel like you have all of these ideas for an amazing daycare that no one else is doing yet. And it seems impossible to do it, but if you have that dream in your heart, God has probably placed it there, especially when it is going to bless other people. And so basically what I'm trying to say is once you have found what you're passionate about and you've found that kind of direction that you want to start going in, is I would say do something today that can put you in a place where you're taking steps into that dream. So for instance, if you are like, for me, I want to be a fashion blogger and a beauty blogger and a YouTuber. And so for me, if I had that dream and I was doing nothing and I didn't have a blog or I didn't have a YouTube channel, but I was just sitting there dreaming about it, that wouldn't really benefit anybody. And so what I'm trying to say is to take a step forward and do something that is putting you in the right direction to get going on that dream, to not just make it a dream, but the calling on your life and something that you can actually do. So do something, even if it's like the smallest thing or if it's a big thing, whatever it is, just do something that can propel you forward. And then the fourth thing that I want to say is to be delicate with your dreams. And what I mean by that is I feel like when you have a big dream and you have something really big that maybe God's calling you to do, or you really just feel inspired to do, or you feel like, okay, this is what my purpose is, you want to be delicate with who you're telling that to. And I don't mean that in a negative sense, but just because oftentimes we can get really like excited and just want to tell the whole world. And some people will 100% back you and believe in you and encourage you and support you. And those are the people that you want to tell your dreams to. But you don't want to just go telling everybody, because oftentimes that can bring discouragement and people kind of just not believing in you. And you don't necessarily want that. And so just be careful with who you're telling your dreams to, and just be, cautious of who you're spilling your heart out to. So for instance, I wouldn't go telling the world all of these dreams that I have, because I feel like they'll see it when it's done. You know what I mean? So anyway, be delicate with who you're telling your dreams to. Obviously, you want to tell, your family if you're close with them, or your close friends, or people who have really been there for you, or maybe mentors in your life. Those are the people that you really want to tell your dreams to, because they'll believe in you and they'll encourage you and pray for you and just say absolutely and give you the encouragement that you need. So the last thing that I wanted to say is that all dreams are valid. And what I mean by that is you don't have to have some crazy, I want to impact hundreds of thousands of people kind of a dream. It can be something that, nothing is too big or too small for God, basically, is what I want to say. And that like I mentioned before, if you have a dream for a daycare, then you go after that with all that you have. Or if you just dream about being a mom and you want to be the best mom ever, then read books and read things, or ask other moms how they do it, or be around other amazing moms that can encourage you. And maybe you just have a heart for being a mom, and you know, God says he'll do more than we could ever ask or imagine or dream of. And so maybe he'll take that dream and he'll bring, your kids' friends to your house, and you'll not only be a mom to your kids, but to other kids as well. So God can really do anything, and there's nothing too big. So don't be scared to dream the impossible, because our God is the God of impossible, and he makes things possible. That's his specialty. So don't limit yourself. Don't limit what God can do through you, because there's nothing too big, nothing too small. He's got it. And if you have a God dream in your heart, he'll bring it to fruition if that's what he's been calling you to do. So the last thing that I wanted to say was, I'm not sure how many of you guys are on here, but if you guys wanted to, if you're on a computer, I'm not sure if the chat box has it on phones. But if you want to invite people, I would love that. If you were blessed by this, or you just had fun, or you just know somebody who would maybe enjoy the community as well, definitely invite your friends. I would love that. And subscribe so you guys don't miss future videos, and it'll also notify you of when I'm going live and things like that. And if you are logged on to the computer, which I'm not sure how many of you are logged on, oh, thank you, Heather, to the computer, I would love to get your guys' feedback. And this is kind of closing up the small group, so I'm kind of done talking about the dreaming thing, unless you guys have more things to say. But I would love to get your guys' feedback on what kind of videos you want to see, or what your favorite videos are. So I'd love to know that. And yeah, so unless that you guys have anything else to say, hi Ashley, thank you for logging on. So I just want to say nothing is too big, nothing is too small. We serve the God who does miracles and performs impossible things, and he makes them possible. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight's small group. Thank you guys so much for logging on. If you're watching this later on throughout the week, thank you again for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. We'll continue. So this one was, just daring to dream and kind of restoring how to dream. And so we'll continue on with the restoring series. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next week. And I hope that you guys loved it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.